Episode 3 of Bon Appétit and Majesty begins with Yi Haeon telling Ji-young that he's sending her to a very special residence, which turned out to be a makeshift prison inside the palace. Meanwhile, Consort Kang Moksha watches the palace doctor take the arrowhead out of Yi Haeon's body and steal it when he's not looking. While talking to the doctor, Yi Haeon realises Ji-young saved his life by stopping the bleeding on his wound. Later, Consort Kang sends the arrowhead to Prince Jaesan. In the royal kitchen, we're introduced to Chef Yom and Chef Mayang, who are competing for the position of chief royal cook after the death of the previous one. Elsewhere, Dowager Queen Inju wonders if her grandson is taking revenge for his mother. Consort Kang calls Songjae to her quarters and questions him about the Chaehong as well as about Ji-young. After he leaves, Songjae tells his father that he's tired of being ordered around by Consort Kang. He suggests they manipulate Ji-young to their benefit instead. That night, a masked man lets Ji-young and Gil-geom out of their prison. As they run away, the man leads them into an arena where a group of masked men are dancing and singing. One of them turns out to be Yi Haeon himself, who arranged all of this to trick Ji-young. He introduces Gong-gil, a jester who pretends to lead the girls away. Now Gong-gil takes his pay and leaves, but not before reading a secret message from the king that orders him to find out who tried to kill him in the woods the other day. When Ji-young keeps mouthing off to the king, he threatens to brand Gil-geom with iron. In her desperation, Ji-young promises to not run away from the palace, and Yi Haeon then declares that he's hungry and tells Ji-young to cook him a meal. Now Chief Yeonuk Chang Seong takes the girls to the royal kitchen where all the male cooks are surprised that a woman will be in charge of the meal. They leave the kitchen in protest. After learning that there's deer meat from the king's recent hunt, Ji-young decides to make deer steak. After a quick cooking sequence, Ji-young serves the king his food, introducing him to haute cuisine from France. The meal includes 3 courses and Yi Haeon loves each one, and while eating the grilled deer tongue, he reminisces about meal times with his mother during his childhood. Consort Kang arrives at the king's room next, but Chang Seong says no one is allowed to enter. Ultimately, Yi Haeon himself tells her to see him later, which is a first for Consort Kang. And inside his room, Yi Haeon leans closer to Ji-young and tells her he has chosen her. Afterwards, Songjae approaches Ji-young and asks her to give him the information she learns from her meals with Yi Haeon. In exchange, he offers her protection from Consort Kang. Now Ji-young agrees but asks for one more favour too. She wants him to find her bag that Yi Haeon threw over the cliff. Meanwhile, Consort Kang and her handmaiden tell Cook Mayang to drive Ji-young out of the kitchen. Now Cook Mayang uses snakes, cockroaches and more to bully Ji-young and Gil-geom, who end up exhausted. Soon, Yi Haeon's ministers send in their letters of resignation. Songjae explains that they're upset over Governor Hong's exile, as well as the fact that Yi Haeon isn't punishing Ji-young. Now we see here that it was Consort Kang and her handmaiden who spread the rumour that Ji-young was responsible for the debacle with Governor Hong. In response to the ministers, Yi Haeon makes Ji-young the chief royal cook. He says she'll be sentenced to death if she serves the same dish more than once, or if he doesn't like it. Meanwhile, Ji-young and Gil-geom are moved into a proper room and given new clothes for the kitchen. The next morning, the male cooks do their best to sabotage Ji-young by mixing salt with flour and dulling the knives. However, Ji-young pulls a fast one on them by saying that she has told the king she will just be observing and that the cooks are responsible for the food the king will eat. Consort Kang's next attempt is to visit the Dowager Queen and tell her Ji-young poses a threat to Yi Haeon. She suggests the queen test Ji-young's skills herself. The Dowager Queen calls Ji-young and tells her to prove her skills in a competition against the senior cooks, and if she fails, Ji-young will lose an arm. Elsewhere, Yi Haeon meets a jester who gives him a note from someone that says he has found the first draft. Yi Haeon thinks he could be close to finding the secret of his mother's death. Now Yi Haeon then learns that his grandmother is testing Ji-young, and he, like Consort Kang, knows that the Dowager Queen doesn't care really about food. So he turns up at the competition and demands that the queen make it fair, and if either of the other 2 cooks loses, they will have to lose an arm as well, which is where episode 3 comes to an end. So this chapter takes the story forward in an interesting way. Ji-young is brought to the palace and most of the narrative revolves around her finding her place among all the royals and finally being appointed chief royal cook. Now Im Yun-ah continues to offer a compelling performance, which is slightly hammy whenever the story calls for it. While the plot is moving forward slowly, her portrayal of Ji-young is endearing and makes you root for her, even when the pace is a little slow. On the other hand, Lee Jae-min's work doesn't have the same range, and the lopsided smile he does while dealing with his ministers might feel a bit monotonous if it keeps showing up the way that it does. The politics in the palace is drawn out quite well though, and we're now seeing that there's quite a web of characters here, but that's what keeps things interesting, particularly as Ji-young is forced to navigate multiple antagonists. It's clear that Yi Hae-yong's mother's death will be a key storyline in this show, although it is a bit icky that he keeps seeing her in Ji Young, who we know will be his future love interest. Overall, this is a solid episode though. The story keeps showing us different sides to the king, throws up some gorgeous cooking sequences, and offers a laugh every time someone tastes Ji Young's food. And that final scene will almost certainly have you itching for the next episode. Thanks for watching, and do let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Smash a like or subscribe to the channel, your support is very much appreciated. I'm Greg Wheeler, and from all of us over here at The Review Geek, we'll see you on the next video.